Excuse the low quality of this video. I think let me see if I can clear off some stuff. Um, but I just wanted to talk. I got some time. I want to talk about basically the, the situation as far as my own personal situation, as far as things as financially related. One of the things about me is, and one of the things about my channel is that I am more open to discussing my own personal financial issues and problems. I know a small minority as far as individuals that are in the finance space that actually disclose their financial misfortunes as well as fortunes. And the reason I do that is because it's a way for me to help you and also help myself. It's kind of like a journey. You know, life is a journey, right? So you can go back and look at your journey, you know, and see where you came from and the hurdles and stuff that you had to overcome. But needless to say, one of the things about where I am right now versus where I used to be, I used to, at a particular time where, you know, it was, you know, I was working for a long period of time, primarily in corporate America. I was making above, almost close to, I would say, the most I made, it was over 120K in 1 year. That really, you know, is, you know, it wasn't what it seemed. But as far as like, if you make over a certain amount, it's great and all, but it's like, it's more or less kind of how you do things. And I'm not gonna say I did everything 100% the way I should have done it in hindsight. This year, not so much as far as 100 plus, but I learned a lot. And the thing is that the difference between what I've done years prior and now is that I got to a point where, thankfully, my assets is more than my liabilities. And that being said, a lot of times people forget about how important or significant something is. I know people don't really care about what other people have and all of that. I get it. You know, I'm definitely understand life is pretty much fleeting, and you know, and all of that type of concept about how important you think things are and how they're not. Because you know, a grave is still a grave, right? Whether it's a poor man or rich man, right? But the thing is this: the reality of the situation is, it is a like a psychological and a spiritual war, you know, a physical war, right? And part of that is to make you deaf, dumb, and blind, to keep you in on the hamster wheel, right? To keep you unaware and spending money and basically slowly draining your finances away and your life away to where you have nothing left, right? That's the goal, as far as what the propaganda is being pushed, as far as what I could tell. Because I was a victim of that. As far as like, I used to watch a lot of TV, and I used to watch a lot of, you know, scripted programming and stuff too, and I was totally brainwashed as well at one particular time. So I allow people to understand that they, you know, I give people grace in that regard. Now, all of that being said, I talked about in years prior, like about four years ago, about wealth. I talked about different categories of wealthy individuals. And I was saying one of the things that, I said years ago was you could be at a particular point where you don't have that much debt, right? Like a person that might have graduated high school, or barely graduated high school, or maybe even was a high school dropout. They knew they really didn't have the money to go to college. So they avoided college debt, and they maybe started off in blue collar jobs, being a janitor. They might even be a janitor still. That person, as long as they didn't get any debt, is in a better financial state than someone that has $300,000 in debt and they could make $100,000 a year. Really, I'm not gonna say it does not matter, but the fact that they got $300,000 debt matters more than how much they make. And those are the concepts that escape a lot of people, escape the masses. And those are the things that I talk about on this channel. And fortunately for me, is that I'm kind of on a similar plateau. I'm facing new difficulties, right? I no longer have the broke difficulties, right? Which my channel name, people don't really watch my content, so they don't know what's going on. They just see me in different channels, and then you see the title, and then they just jump to conclusions. But that's fine. I know what people think, right? Trust me, I understand that, given my circumstances right now, being kind of more self-employed, which I was self-employed for various points of my life. So I know how to deal with that reality. And I'm gonna be honest, that reality actually is not that bad, because you tend to have more freedom as long as you could make more money. So it's pros and cons to that, but that's not necessarily what I'm talking about right now. Basically, one of the things that my new challenges is cash flow, liquidity, and just trying to make money outside of the employee category, and it's very, very challenging. Okay. And then it's also, not to say that I wasn't working, making 100 grand a year, or whether if I was making 70, 80 grand a year, I still was doing DoorDash. I remember last year doing DoorDash, and I knew I was, clocking over 100K. And, people look at a DoorDasher like a broke bum that's delivering food and stuff. That's just how people look at them. It doesn't matter. Like, how people look at you does not matter as far as like what your actual reality is. You could, a junior lawyer makes, barely, in some states, make barely $100,000 a year. Some doctors, make that, and you still doing DoorDash. People, you're not gonna go to every person that looks at you side eye like, don't look at me side eye. I actually make I make over 6 figures. I just do this on the side. I mean, you have to say that over and over and over again, and I don't do that. I don't do that at all. What I do is I just take it. It's like the Redman song, I'll be that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's about how you look in actual reality. Fortunately for me, my reality is, basically, I'm a poor, wealthy guy. Okay, that's my new reality. That's the thing that I'm trying to deal with right now. I know I know a lot of people in their ego will laugh and chuckle about that. But before you laugh and chuckle, just look at your financial statement and your budget and all the mortgages that you have to pay and the rent that you have to pay and car payments, and then all of the debt that you have. I don't have that. I don't have that debt. And it's a percentage of individuals in this country that they know the game, and they play the game the way it should be played, and that's assets over liabilities, and they're gradually doing okay playing that game. And others, they play the slave debt, the game where they get a bunch of debt so they can have a lifestyle that looks a certain way, keeping up with appearances and stuff like that, where they're in debt, they're drowning, and they're laughing at other people that appear to them that don't fit a certain look or look in society where they're doing well. And it's a head game. It's like David Goggins said, ex-Navy SEAL guy, life is just a big head game, and it's like the head game of my reality is I absorb all of the hate, all of the frustration, all of the looks as far as whatever I do right now, and as well as the things that I know I need to do. I'm still trying to work on those, but I just take all of that in, and at the end of the day, I go to my house that's fully paid for. The vehicles that I have, I got one that I still have about, a couple grand that I have to pay off, okay? One car. I got, basically a garage. I could just say I got a garage, and it's more than what most people have that's paid for. I could just start with my garage. I don't have to talk about the lot that's next to my house, the block that I own, actually. I don't have to even talk about all of that, because the garage in itself is enough right there that most people don't have, and the thing is yeah, I'm talking a little shit, being a poor wealthy man. I'm talking some shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm shit talking a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You probably ain't liking that, but that's my reality, and I'm trying to deal with that reality. And it's tough being a poor wealthy man, it's very, very tough. It's a tough reality, man, but somebody's got to do it.